Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen with a What's New in 3.8 live and quick start tips guide. I have a Start Here Star Citizen tutorial that is appropriate for 3.8.0 as well for new players, which I will link down below. This video should be watched directly after that if you are a new player, or if you already know how to play Star Citizen, then you can just watch this one as it will go over some of the new stuff that is new specifically in 3.8. Quantum travel times, they are quicker in 3.8, so you travelling across the verse is a good amount quicker, but drives are a little different now and can give you longer distances with better fuel efficiency, but you'll be travelling slower, or you can be travelling more quickly and use a lot of fuel. Smaller ships need to stop at rest stops more regularly, but they do travel significantly more quickly than they did in previous patches. So 15 minutes journeys will now be 3 to 4 minutes sort of thing, but you will be regularly running out of quantum fuel in smaller ships. Rest stops are marked on your map as the CRU and HUR and other three-letter sort of like codes on the map, and L1 to 5, that sort of stuff. Those numbered locations around the verse are places where you will find rest stops, and you can go there to get refueled. There are also new stations above each of the major landing zones, like Port Tressler above Microtech. You can just go up to any of these rest stops or any of these new space stations and request landing on your Mobiglass, and then you'll want to use your Mobiglass station service app when landed at that pad to fuel up. If you are having problems refueling, then hover just above the pad before requesting landing and request services just above the pad. It's worth buying an upgraded quantum drive as well for your ship now for distance and fuel efficiency. Loads of the items have changed in-game. Close combat allows you to fight with your fists out. You can press 0 when you are on foot, and that will pull out your fists. You can't ready your fists in a armistice zone, though you can punch away crazily in Grimhex. It is a madhouse. Click left and right mouse button to do light attacks, hold those buttons for heavy attacks. You can mix a chain of 3 attacks and crouching together to do various combos. Hold both buttons down to block, double tap a direction to dodge. You can buy knives in weapon shops as well and equip them in a utility slot, and then bring them out by pressing 5. When you're behind a target with your fists out or with a knife, you can press and hold middle mouse button, and that should initiate a takedown. Middle mouse, when you have a gun out, will punt an enemy still, and it seems to be pretty lethal damage, and more damage than sort of standard close combat attacks. Randomly punching people when not in Grimhex is a crime battery if you are detected doing it. Close combat is fun, but stealth and close combat aren't really going to win you any sort of like battles at the moment or missions. It's not really properly supported as a meta in the game. New laws. Fines are no longer automatic. You'll have to pay them off at fine kiosks found at major landing zones with the floating holograms of the scales above them. Failure to pay these off will lead to more fines, and then eventually you will get criminal ratings. When hacking down your criminal rating as well with a hacking chip, you'll have to individually remove each crime from the interface and choose why it was removed. So it's like an extra step at the end after you've hacked. I recommend removing the most important fines and criminal ratings first, as you might not be able to do everything. Impounding is a parking violation that impounds the ship sort of that failed to park incorrectly, and you'll have to wait or pay the fine to be able to release your ship from the impound. This is done from your ASOP terminals. New missions that are mega relevant in this patch are the Call to Arms mission. You want to take that pretty much in every situation when you log on. It gives you extra Alpha UEC for taking out NPCs and players that have criminal ratings. It's free money. Take it every time you start a session. Mission givers are moved. As Wallace Clem has now moved to Grimhex, and Miles Eckhart has moved to the bar at Lawville. Microtech doesn't have much gameplay there yet. You can commonly find an 890 jump mission above Microtech, though. It's a great tourist destination as well. That 890 jump mission has you fighting ships and then clearing the 890 jump out of pirates. It's intended to be a group co-op mission for lawful people. It has side quests as well that have you earning more money if you complete them, but you don't have to complete them all and you can still earn. Claim jumper missions are meant for co-op groups as well, or at least a ship that has the ability to tank a reasonable amount of damage, sort of like Constellation and up, in my opinion. It has hard-hitting turrets that you have to take out, and lots of prospectors, which in droves can be very damaging to dogfighters and shorter-range ships especially, so be aware of that. There are economy changes. The values of some items and commodities, as well as their buying and selling locations, have changed. Items, components, equipment, they've been part of that sort of like economy balance and change, but also their stats have been changed and rebalanced quite heavily. So ship components are more focused towards their manufacturer, brand and quality. There is far too much to go over on this topic for a quick start sort of guide, but I will link a few resources down below. The Human Germ has made a solid database on sort of like quick stats at a glance, where to buy them, where to sell, buy, trade, all this sort of stuff in game. Amazing, useful resource there. I think he's still updating it for 3.8 with all of the stats in it there at the moment. And there's also Urkel Games. There's a DPS calculator there that shows you sort of like different weapons and components if you want to sort of check out those with your ship fittings with a bit of a UI. As I said, put those both down below. Check them out. Really amazing resources. Mineable rebalance. So rock stats, mass, and makeup have all been changed in 3.8 for mining. Smaller chunks now have less inert materials, or at least inert materials will break off in separate chunks when you're mining them. So you can make extracting previously less profitable materials profitable. With rocks past sort of 4 to 5k mass, you'll need a new mining head or more lasers working on that rock. There are new mining heads, basically mining lasers that focus on a particular task or have different stats from your standard one, and they can reduce the instability or resistance of a rock or give more power. Power is what you want for cracking those larger mass rocks. The Iron Halo is also a location in-game currently, but it's reasonably bare at the moment. There's lots of plans for this sort of location in the future. It's a massive ring of asteroids and minables that follow the sort of like orbit of Delamar, currently anyway, because Delamar will be removed in the future, but the Iron Halo should still stay in that position. To get there, you just have to turn off your power on Quantum Drive when you're over the route, when you're over this sort of like where the Iron Halo is. And the easiest way to actually get there, I suppose, is travelling between ArcCorp to Hurston, and then when you're 13.5 million kilometres away, turn off your engines, turn off your Quantum Drive, and you'll come out there. I will link someone else's little map and guide to that as well down below. If you're in a mole, or if you're in a group of prospectors or whatever, if you want to do some mining in peace in asteroids, then the Iron Halo is a great place to go and mine currently. The Animus missile launcher is actually pretty good against ships and vehicles. Make sure that you are locked on before firing. It's sort of like an essential piece of gear for me now if I'm wearing heavy armor. Deselecting a target when in a ship or vehicle can now be done by pressing 0. So if you got like a ship targeted, press 0, bam, untargeted. There is no platform persistence yet, so this is basically them saving Alpha UEC and Alpha UEC purchases, like ship sporting game, between patches more frequently. They plan to have platform persistence in a 3.8.x patch though, so at some point during the cycle we should have that. No starting UEC, so the current default starting Alpha UEC for players has been set to 0 Alpha UEC, plus any bonus UEC on your RSI account. That's not a bug, that's how they want to do it. If you want monies, do missions, and players that have the 5k UEC for signing up with someone else's referral code, or UEC for referrals, or UEC purchased, will start the game with that all added together in 3.8 and in the future patches. 3.8 has bugs, and CIG will address them in 3.8.x patches. They released a hotfix as well, increasing the Argo Mole's fuel tank by 40% and fixing some crashes. The Cutlass Red will be released in January 2020, the Carrack in February, and the Prowler in March, all part of the 3.8 branch, but they are not in the initial 3.8 release. There were some issues with FPS weapons not firing. If this happens, try to melee with them with middle mouse, or pull out your fists and then pull out your weapon again. That can quite often allow you to shoot your weapon. During the holidays, there are present boxes, so like Christmas presents that you can find around the verse that you can then sell. Also, under the landmark building at Microtech, the large building there, you can fly under it, and there's a Christmas sort of scene Easter egg that's currently there, so check that out. If you are looking to make money quickly in the game and you have just a starter ship, take Bounty, Mercenary, and clear out Security Post Korea missions around Port Olisar is actually my suggestion there. Unless you've got a group of people, then join them for various group missions. Those should give you quick, easy rewards, and then you can use that money to rent a better combat ship or a prospector or a cargo ship for like a day, and that can then be used to leverage a huge amount of money just with a few hours of play. You can rent ships at spaceports at Lawville and Area 18. Please, if you've got any questions, chuck them in the comments below. That will be helpful for me working out what other videos I should do, but also hopefully help you with some answers and help other people with those answers too. That's something that's probably also worth mentioning, just before I forget. All planets and moons have effectively changed reasonably significantly with the Planetary Tech V4, so you will have to rediscover the verse, as it were. We do have a ship giveaway each month for December. It's for a Carrack, the Mighty Explorer. You just have to comment on one of my videos during the month to be in for a chance of winning that. More details below. Also, if you're looking for a VPN or password manager, Nord have you covered. Shadow as well, they're an amazing way of having a gaming PC, sort of like super high spec, without the giant costs associated with that. You can have it as a subscription service and leverage the power of your internet to stream a gaming PC to you. Woo, bam. With any of those, use the code BoredGamer to get a discount or follow the links below.